All right, guys, we are absolutely not live. In fact, this is a late pre-recording of your favorite, catching all of the actual feels that my buddy is not here with me. But guys, welcome in to a two edition of the Fourth and One podcast. I'm gonna be honest, kind of forgot for a second what week we were in because it's been such a week, guys. It has been such a week. I will definitely let you know now that there were so many things that had to happen in order to get this started. I know we're coming to you guys late. As I'm recording this, it is late on a Friday night. But because we want to put the podcast out there, we definitely want to let some of you, you hardcore viewers, to get a little bit of thoughts in. The show must go on. So without further ado, let's just get right to it. Russo is actually at I believe a T Swift concert. I think is what he told me. I don't know. Me and him haven't really talked much the last few days. He's been doing his own thing. Thoughts and prayers up with his family too, as they're going through a couple of things. But I think old boy is getting through it with a little T Swift. So we're gonna get hot and heavy. I'm actually gonna start and I'm gonna lead off with what everybody wants to talk about, and it is yet again a unbelievably weird week of college football, man. There's never any, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's just like us hanging out this week to talk about this. But what other game do you guys see that ends with this much parity all the time? Every league, no matter what. I love this game so much. I will do this show until the day I die because I love this so much. I love talking about it. I love being around it. It's everything to me. So, without further ado, we're going to get right into it. And what I actually think I'm going to start with is I'm going to get into Russo's plays. So, these Russo's thoughts, guys. Check me. Okay. Russo's thoughts. So he wants to talk about Oregon. Oregon and Washington could decide a top 2 Heisman candidate, as well as determine who wins the Pac-12. A lot of emphasis has been placed on the strength of Oregon's defense this season. Gun to the head, give me under the 67. These two played last season in the 37-34 thriller. UW won. This game will be played even closer and more competitive on defense. As you can see, University of Washington in the background. Beautiful city, beautiful state, beautiful stadium. Going in live with why is Notre Dame favored by 3 against the USC team? Interesting, right? I don't care if this is a road game for USC. A lot can be solid about this line. Can be said about the Sun, rather. With that being said, give me over 60. If Sam Hartman has a pulse, this over should hit. USC secondary is horrendous, but their offense is elite. Call me crazy. This is number 3. Call me crazy, but give me A&M on the money line against Tennessee. This Tennessee team is overrated. A&M's defense will give Milton problems and look for them to fight hard for their coach, who is burning on the hot seat. I don't think I disagree with him. And then this is actually his play of the week. Kentucky money line. Shout out, Kev. This is a comeback spot for Kentucky as they got embarrassed by UGA, which derailed the hype train. Missouri's train was also wrecked by LSU. But I expect Kentucky to come back and have a game and get a dub easily over Missouri. I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of a different approach. I actually love the way he's thinking about all that too, to be honest. And I think what you'll all find in what I'm about to say is that I'm going to try to remain very numbers biased. Okay. Here's what I know. I don't love the Texas A&M line. I don't love the Tennessee line. I think it's weird. I think it's funky. A couple things that I know. Texas A&M has the best defensive line in the SEC. Say what you want. Spare me, Georgia. Spare me. Auburn has dude after dude after dude after dude and they all look the same. So I think when you have that kind of specimen, that much, please just let it be known that they have the boys. Sorry. I had to respond back to him. They've got the boys, they got the talents, they got the dogs. I'm going to actually take Texas A&M because I think that their defensive line is just too much for Tennessee to handle. However, none of you would guess this, but guess who leads the SEC in sacks? Tennessee. Just saying. Is Max Johnson mobile? Not really Michael Vick, is he? He's not. If I'm wrong, they'll say I didn't tell you so. Moving on. Washington, Oregon. This line has been back and forth for me. I have literally nowhere how to think. I don't even know what to say. Washington's obviously the favorite. I think Oregon is the more talented team, but I have a really, really hard time betting against Washington in this spot, man. And the reason why I say that is because if not now, when? You know what I'm saying? Like this is your chance. Michael Penix, your Heisman year. If you're going to get a Pac-12 team in here, it's going to have to be you, Oregon. I just don't see USC doing it, man. Put it this way. USC could get the bid. USC could beat these teams in a shootout, and USC could go to the college football playoffs. But they aren't going to win either of the two games. They aren't going to win the semi, and they're not going to win the whole thing. Their defense is horrible. And you're talking to one of the only people that has actually seen horrible defenses up close this year. So I'm literally on a gut play, like on a biased gut play because of who they've been to be. Remember, you and I, Russo and I, have Oregon winning the Pac-12. Gun to my head, give me Oregon, but my gut is telling me to go with UW. I know that's conflicting, and I know how that makes y'all feel, but it's such a difficult thing for me because Michael Penix, who's playing better than them? You know what I'm saying? Like, who is playing better than them? And I can't really get away from that. And so because of those reasons, I'm going to have to try to just play on like player props with these. So check the Twitter live in the morning or right before the noon kickoffs, and we kind of try to get them out. I will obviously be on campus tomorrow, so I will not be able to get these plays out for you at the 2-3 o'clock window. So go ahead and take a look. Yeah, super early. See what I'm talking about? Excuse me. We're going to go right into it since you just talked about them. USC, Notre Dame. Listen, I hate this spot for USC. I hate it. You know what I'm saying? Because what Notre Dame is good at, you're not good at defending. USC cannot literally defend anything. They can throw everything. But it seems like every time they played this kind of knockdown, drag out, take the air out of the ball type of games, it seems as though this is what Notre Dame wants, man. Like they dream of having this kind of game. So, give me all the reason in the world to give me an Audric Estime 2 tutty kind of game. Whatever his over is, I'm sure it's not that unbelievable. I'd probably take the over on it unless it was like 125 or something stupid. I wouldn't do that. But give me gun to my head. I'd probably have to take USC, but it's a very, very sleepy spot because you're basically begging USC. You're begging USC to overlook them. You're begging. It's a weird thing, man. It's weird. It's just, I don't know. It's weird. And this is the sleeper of the week, and I don't think anybody's talked about it, and it's Missouri, Kentucky. Missouri, Kentucky is a sleeper only because I feel like there's money to be made on this game. Missouri just had the win taken out of their sails because this was the first undefeated team they've had ever at this point in time. And this was kind of like their Super Bowl, and they came up short. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was their SEC West foe. They've obviously beat them back in the COVID year. It kind of felt like the we are the Tigers kind of thing. Like, they showed up and went for 2 right after they scored the first touchdown. And to be honest, Coach Drink kind of put it on you. Coach Drink literally disrespected your defense if you're LSU and said, we're going toe-to-toe. Go ahead. My offense first yours. And LSU's was better, and they are better. And I think the better team won, but there's 2 or 3 plays that could have happened, and Missouri could have easily won that game, which is why I talk about the parity in college football. This is why I love it so much, more than the Sunday game, because it's different, because most of the time the talent's going to win out in the NFL game and the model. Usually, I say that 8 out of 10 times. With college, there's like home field and emotion matters so much more. So that's why I think you get into it, Missouri could have easily won that game, but they didn't. and that was absolutely fantastic. Also, shout out to everybody that was on for the live stream with me and Russo after that game. Woo! We were served. We were served. I'll just put it that way. Flying into the next game, and that's actually, by the way, there will be a play. There will be a play related to that. There will be a play related to that. I'm going to get into our next game right here, and this is going to be UCLA and Oregon State. You know how we feel about Oregon State at home. We always back them when they're at home. I want no part of the spread. I want no part of this money line. I am pretty sure that has not gone anywhere, right? Still 3.5. 2.5, I'd touch it. 2.5, I would touch it. 3.5, leave me alone. And these are all close, guys. Like, these are like all the games we've talked about so far. All the games we've talked about. Oregon, Washington, 3. Tennessee A&M, 3. USC, Notre Dame, 2.5. Missouri, Kentucky, 2.5. UCLA, Oregon State, 3.5. Like, are you seeing the trend? These are difficult games to pick. It's not like we're, it's like 11.5 point favorites and we're just trying to, come on, guys, we're just going to be the sleeper pick. No, like these are difficult games. And so the one play that I will say here, and this is actually going to be a play. I am going to reveal that under for this game. UCLA, Oregon State, under 54. Let me tell you why. It's the best defense UCLA's had in 30 years. It's the best one, maybe even 40. This is the best team. This is the best defense they've had since the 80s. And I was born in 96. So it's not like I was around for the 80s. But when you watch old football, when you listen to, some of the chatter, you start to hear some of that stuff. You start to Google it and look into it. Defense is salty. You're paying for it a little bit because you have a freshman quarterback who is so talented. God, I cannot wait. I cannot wait for him to just have some water underneath his skis. It seemed like he's still kind of treading a little bit. But man, Dante's good. He's so good, but it's so tough to see sometimes because of the inconsistencies. But I really do like the under here. We're going to go with the under 54. And look, and I'm not even going to get into this. I'm not going to get into, why I feel this way. I'm not even going to feel any guilty about picking them. You already know that I'm a home field favorite. I'm a home team favorite, rather. My Wyoming Cowboys are going to go out to Air Force and look, say anything you want about this game. Say anything you want about the spread. I don't care. Give me Wyoming to cover. I don't care if it's moved. I don't care if it's not. I'm pretty sure it was still double digits last time I saw. Give me Wyoming to cover. The fact that you have played this way and are still getting it's a clunky look for Air Force. They obviously could win. I still like them to cover. If you want to tease it, go ahead and tease it up until you get to about minus 190, and then throw it on a player prop parlay that you'll see later on here, probably tomorrow. And you could just add the Wyoming, like the 2.5 scores, cover with there and kind of get yourself home if you're not feeling that confident. But you're going to get some pretty significant juice with that because remember, Wyoming is not projected to cover this game, or rather, they're not projected to win this game. So obviously, the cover is going to be in your favor. So you're going to add like a significant boost. I'm telling you, lay Wyoming. I'm not Nostradamus or anything, but I love this Wyoming team. Shout out Coach Colleen. I can't possibly go any further without talking about I don't know, call it to decide second place in the West, third place in the West. LSU and Auburn. Call it what it is. It's an 11-point now. Jesus, it was 11-5 whenever I woke up this morning. So obviously the public is pushing back on that number a little bit. If any of you have ever watched an LSU Auburn game, then you'll know, what this looks like. This is never a boat race. The only time it was during COVID when everything was weird. But there's a lot of weird things that happen during Auburn week. I don't need you guys to, try to, and I heard somebody else say this week. So shout out to my dog Blake. Finding Bigfoot in the middle of the week. That's such an Auburn week thing to do, man. Auburn always keeps this game close. Auburn is always the type of team to try to keep this game, within the number. It's 11. I want no part of that spread. If you had a gun to my head, I'd tell you to take Auburn on the spread. Every strength is each other's weakness, and every weakness is each other's strength. So You've got LSU with the number one offense in the SEC, and you got Auburn, which is in one of the better categories of defense. LSU's run defense is dreadful, and Auburn runs the shit out of the football. So they can't. Auburn so far has not really thrown the ball much with much consistency, and LSU's pass offense and pass defense is just as bad. So it's like something's got to give, right? Auburn's got a great run defense. LSU's trying to run the ball. You've got Jaden Daniels. There is talk about them putting a spy on Jaden Daniels. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Jaden runs a 4.4 max, 4.3 minimum. Like the floor at what he runs is a low 4.4. That guy is not. You don't spy that. You can try to spy KJ Jefferson, but then you're still going to need the rest of the line to bring his big ass down. You're not spying Jaden Daniels. If you're spying Jaden Daniels, it's because you've got a Harold Perkins, and I don't know if there's a Harold Perkins on Auburn. However, Auburn does have two things that LSU does not, and it's two lockdown safeties. Auburn's got safeties in spades. They got safeties on the sidelines waiting to play. Their cornerbacks aren't bad either. Their defense is salty, guys. And for all of you LSU fans and beat writers and everybody that wants to tell me why this game is going to be a boat race and you're feeling confident LSU's flying high, they put up that on Missouri's defense, guys. And Missouri's defense, we told you here, is not the strength of their team. I am telling you, this game is never going to be a blowout. You know what I'm saying? It's just not. So please understand what I'm telling you whenever I say this game is going to get kept within a number. Look, I've said all that I can say. I really don't want to make this episode anything deeper than what it is. We're going to talk about each game and how I see it. If you really want to know what my three confidence plays are right now, I'm looking at Wyoming covering, I'm looking at UW winning, and I'm looking at UCLA and under in the Oregon State. What is this? No, sorry. And last but certainly not least, I do want to bring up something. Everybody that has donated to the Greg Brooks Foundation, congratulations to you. You've become Coach Trey's A+ award for the week. I think, with all things considered, this is not easy for anybody, any football team. Nobody deserves to watch a kid have cancer. So shout out to the Brooks Foundation for everybody, divvying up in that and, being a part of something bigger than yourselves. I think with everything going on right now, I think we could use a lot more of that. And so for those reasons, I'm actually going to cut it short here in a minute. And again, thank you everybody for being here. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you everybody for tuning into the live stream. We are going to have some more of those watch parties. And so, with that being said, I'm going to sign off for now, but just remember, not every time are we going to lay these and be perfect, but we are in the black more than we are the red. So I think with all things considered, I really, really like the way that I feel about these plays. And I certainly like the way that you guys are giving us information back and forth and certainly engaging with the show and giving us some honest feedback on what you guys see. And so I'm super, super jacked, super pleased, super privileged, man. And I just couldn't be more happy to do this every week. So thank you guys. Keep my boy Russo's family in your prayers. And if you wouldn't mind, give us a like and a subscribe. Super, super helpful to the channel, super helpful to the podcast. Shout out Small Craft US, man. Go support my dog Dylan. Learn about some distilleries and some local crafts and some local adult beverages. But that's going to put a bow on it. We are done for the week. Tune into the Twitter tomorrow and see all of our plays, guys. I love you. Peace.